Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has held a soft spot in my library ever since it released back in 2020, and while its fights never really climbed to the complexity of traditional fighters, it does feature a fully rendered Dragon Ball overworld to explore, which really fed into my childhood nostalgia. Over time though, my save file has gathered dust, mostly because the post-launch story arcs felt more like brief add-ons than real invitations to dive back in. Well, that actually changed with the announcement of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima Adventure Through the Demon Realm, a 2-part DLC scenario that draws from the newly released Daima anime. After spending a few hours with it, I found myself more invested in this series than I had ever expected.
Aw, darn it!
The Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLC opens by shifting the tone and structure of Kakarot in some pretty noticeable ways. Goku's signature ability to fly is now removed, and that alone changes how you interact with the world around you. Rather than quickly gliding from place to place, you're grounded and you must navigate the terrain on foot, which actually makes the Demon Realm feel much larger than any prior area in the game. That limitation alone might sound restrictive, but it actually adds weight to exploration and brings out a sense of discovery that's reminiscent of the original Dragon Ball series. In fact, the first few hours of Daima Part 1 feels like a soft reset. Because Goku has been returned to a smaller, younger form, his arsenal has been adjusted accordingly. The power pole does make a comeback, and it's integrated into combat in a way that feels appropriate for this version of the character. The weapon alone hasn't gotten enough love in previous games, so seeing it play a central role here gives these fights a different rhythm. And then the process of adventuring throughout the Demon Realm, meeting new characters, and picking up optional side quests adds some welcome pacing to the journey. I actually haven't watched the Daima anime myself, so I came into this scenario without much prior context. Even so, it didn't take long for me to get settled. There's a strong focus on storytelling here, and even without knowing which moments tied directly into the show, the DLC seems to put effort into building out the Demon Realm with original interactions and character moments. One of the bigger highlights for me so far is the introduction of Glorio and Ponzi, 2 new characters who accompany Goku. Both these characters have distinct personalities and play off well with Goku in ways that feel consistent with the broader Dragon Ball tone. What impressed me most during my time with the DLC was the sheer amount of content that is packed in the first half. There are numerous side activities, collectibles scattered throughout the environment, and a general sense of freedom in how you move from one objective to the next. This is easily the largest and most ambitious of the DLC scenarios released for Kakarot to date, and it manages to justify its size without feeling overly bloated. The Demon Realm setting plays a big role in that, offering an uncharted environment that hasn't been heavily featured in past games. Previous DLC episodes like the Trunks the Warrior of Hope storyline or A New Power Awakens were enjoyable but never fully convinced me to start a new save or spend more time than a few sessions with the DLC. In contrast, Adventure Through the Demon Realm has enough mechanical changes and new content to actually pull me back in for a longer playthrough. The shift in tone, focus, and character abilities make it feel more substantial than a simple story add-on. If Part 2 continues to build on the foundation, could very well be the must-have expansion for Kakarot. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima Adventure Through the Demon Realm Part 1 is a great reminder of what this game is capable of when it narrows its focus and puts effort into pacing and exploration. While I'm not yet sure how the second half will expand the scope or tie up the narrative, Part 1 stands strong enough on its own that I'm already looking forward to what comes next. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima Adventure Through the Demon Realm Part 1 will be released on July 17th, 2025. Part 2 is currently planned to launch sometime between January and March 2026. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
Y'all are just incredible.
Bunch of jerks. They just had to go and ruin the Sky Seed.
The gendarmes are more on edge than I thought.
We'll have to pay even closer attention to what they're up to from now on.
What should we do about those guys?
I'll get this all cleared up. Don't worry, I'll cover for you kids.
I'll take care of this mess. Huh? This child been giving you trouble? How pitiful can you guys get? I'll chop and stuff this punk in a second.
Hey, not bad.
Goku!
What? How is this brat so strong?
That was easy.
How are you? No more messing around. Now! Get lost.
keep up the pressure.
I'll follow your lead.
What? Was that it?
That was awesome!
We make an excellent team.
Dance for me.
Not if I can help it.
I owe you, Supreme Kai.
I can do this.
Dance with me.
Hold it right there.
Counterattack!
This one's gonna hurt!
Get him, Pansy!
Gotcha.
Nice!
My turn! My
Hold it right there.
Dance for me.
Goku, try not to get overconfident. Expending too much energy could jeopardize our journey.
You're not getting us without a fight!
What he said!
Damn it. Full of himself, ain't he? Let's show him what the gendarmerie can do!
This is no time to mess around!
Okay, sorry.
Damn, nice timing.
Looks like I won.
I guess giving it our all wasn't enough.
Wow, this looks pretty fancy.
Don't see those too often.
It seems
Noisy Pixel.